What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Gloss Garage, where we make detailing simple. My name is Sak, and today I have something special for you all. So today will be a voiceover pretty much on a vehicle that we did, which was a Volkswagen Buggy. I think it was a 2004, 2005, definitely over 20 years old. And here is the before walk around. What you can see, it is heavily oxidized, has some water spots. The cowl that's there, that plastic trim, it is completely faded. We ended up restoring that using Labocosmetica's TPR. You could check that video out on that product that we did, but I'll put the clip of how it looks before and after on the Volkswagen Buggy. But you could check out the in-depth review that I have on TPR on my personal channel, where you can see us restore plastic trim on a Mazda. But yeah, so the vehicle definitely needed some TLC. The owner did buy this, and he bought it used, and he said, hey, look, this is something that my wife and I really enjoyed, this vehicle. We picked it up. It's mainly for his wife, and definitely needed some TLC. He said he wanted it to be a bit shinier. He needed a reset. He needed a deep detail. And I said, you know what? We can get that done. He booked it on, and this is a transformation that you are all about to see. So yeah, so what is the first things first when you are going to detail any vehicle, especially polish? What are the steps? And I will break down the steps as we talk about it, and you'll see the little overhead of the video of us, doing the steps in between. So first off, we ended up foaming the vehicle using Primus 2.0 from Labocosmetica. This is, to me, my favorite alkaline shampoo. We ended up using that, let it dwell, rinse it off, then we foamed it on again, and then do our contact wash. And that is what we ended up doing. Then from there, second step is you want to use an acidic type of shampoo to help diminish more of those water spot minerals, because this vehicle was heavily contaminated. It felt like sandpaper. And we ended up using Labocosmetica's Purifica, and we just did our contact wash right there. Using a different bucket, you just have a bit of Purifica in there, and you just foam it on, and you don't have to dunk in every single time, right? Like, inside the bucket, you could just foam it on, grab a different mitt, and just agitate it into the paint. So that is what we did. Let that dwell, rinse it off, and then from there, we went on to our decontamination step, which is our physical decontamination step, which we ended up using the iron remover, to me, which is probably one of the best on the market, which is Nero from Labocosmetica. Now I ended up swapping the concentrated version inside this bottle right here, just because this one, it just looks cleaner this way. So it does come concentrated. It costs about $22, and I will tell you why I like this iron remover. Is because it is like a gel type. It clings on a little bit better. It's 22 bucks. And you can dilute it 1:3. So I like to use this in a 1:3, sometimes in a 1:2 dilution ratio. So if you think about it, just for the cost, typically for most other iron removers, just a 16-ounce bottle will cost you $22, anywhere between $14 to $22. And this one, you can make two 16-ounce bottles, or three if you're using it in a 1:3. If your vehicle is typically not that contaminated and you're just doing regular maintenance, you could do three 16-ounce bottles for 22 bucks. And also, this is dual action. It does have some lime scaling properties as well, so it will help tackle more of those water spot minerals as well on the paint, which is great. And if you're using this with the clay bar, trust me, it'll eat up your clay bar because of the acidic properties of the lime scaling remover. And yeah, so that is the reason why I like it. Now, it's not as slick as the other type of iron removers that are out there, like DIY, Optimum Ferrex, Age of Iron. It's not as slick as those, just because those have a little bit more surfactants to make it slick, and use it with a clay towel. But with this, it's not as slick, so typically I just dunk it inside the soap bucket, and then I go to town if I use it with a clay towel, just to get that extra lubrication. So that is what we ended up doing. You saw on how dirty that clay bar came out. Very, very, very dirty. It was very contaminated, and that is what we ended up having to use. So that is what I used from there. Then the part that I did not record was the detail code Ragnarok. Now, what we're doing with Ragnarok is removing the water spotting, scaling as much as we can. So this is pretty much your nuke. I have this diluted in a 1:3, 1:4. You could use whatever acid wheel cleaner of your choice. Just dilute it properly for the paint. Because Jimbos Pure Magic Cleaner, I use it in 1:4, 1:5. This one, 1:3, 1:4, and this one I use it in a 1:4, 1:5. So that is what you do. You just rub it on with your towel, let it dwell, agitate it, and then you just make sure you rinse it off. And I do have a dedicated video of how, not really dedicated, it was more on the CSI CeramX polish, where you could see us remove a heavy water spotted vehicle. And you could just scroll down, there's a couple videos back where you see the thumbnail of a heavy water spotted video. You know, on the thumbnail you see heavy water spots and no water spots afterwards. Just check that video out. But yeah, this vehicle was pretty much heavily water spotted. Now we're up to the polishing step. Now for the polishing step, it is very easy, very simple. Now on the clip that you see when I put the 50/50 tape line, I ended up using DIY details, obviously the cordless 25 millimeter machine, but I think I just ended up putting gold standard compound with just the polishing pad. And I did get pretty good shine, pretty good depth in general, but I didn't really get the defect removal that I wanted, because this paint is pretty much true old school German paint. It was on the medium to hard side, so we ended up stepping up afterwards, and we ended up using the wool pad from DIY Detail. I did not record that part, but as you can see on the passenger side or even on the trunk side, those are the after results on the passenger side of the hood or the trunk side, where you see the true 50/50, where we ended up using 2 drops of gold standard compound. Now this is something that I've really been enjoying a lot lately, and I use this combination a lot to make it my ultimate one-step capabilities, where I put like 1 drop of gold standard and then like 2 or 1 spray of gold standard polish just to spruce it up. And you can see the results, which is absolutely insane. Super glossy, super shiny. We ended up doing about 3 to 4 section passes, or 3 section passes, medium speed, medium pressure, and I think I put it on speed 4 max on the polisher, and that was it. As you can see, the results speak for themselves. We even did it on the headlights. You see a quick little before and after on the headlights, and it just came out just looking amazing. It looked spectacular. The owner came in and he just couldn't believe it. We got it that much shinier, that much glossy. It was just like a showroom shine, and hopefully the pictures speak for themselves as well, where you can see on the overhead. Now for the last standing protection, the owner didn't want a ceramic coat, and we're talking about a 21-year-old vehicle. It's not something that it needs something so super stout. He just said, look, just a basic spray wax or wax. So we ended up applying Phoenix EOD's Titan, and that is what we ended up putting on as protection, because obviously some areas are faded and the paint was cracked. So we just ended up putting Titan on it, and just to give it 2 to 3 months of protection, and that was it. Hopefully you all enjoyed the transformation. Now all the products you can actually get, I'll put the links down below where you could get it, but you could get these at Carzilla, at their individual websites if you want. It doesn't really matter, but this is the results that I got. The customer was so happy on how his wife's car came out that he ended up saying, do my car next afterwards. So we ended up doing his vehicle as well. And yeah, so hopefully you enjoy this type of content. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let me know what is your polish, your decontamination steps, what products you use, whether it's Gtechniq, Gyeon, you know, PNS, whatever product line that you use. Let me know what is your go-tos to decontaminate. And yeah, so this is my steps, this is my process, and hopefully you all enjoy this video. Later guys, peace.